Okay, let's talk about some more advanced filleting options. Let's select our fillet option, and let's talk about propagation. There are 4 types of propagation. The first 2 we already know. Tangency, this is an easy one since there's a smooth tangent curve around this edge. If I select it, the fillet propagates all the way around. If I double click the curve and I select minimal, then the fillet stops at this edge, but of course it has to run out just a little bit just so that it makes sense. Now, if you really did want it to stop right there at that edge, you could simply unhide this plane that we've made here. We can double click it and select the limiting element to be that plane. Okay. Now let's delete that edge fillet and hide this plane again, and let's talk about the 2 new options. Okay, let's select fillet, and now let's talk about the intersection. Okay, with the intersection, our solid is made up of many features. Here's pad 4, pad 3, pad 2, and then pad 1. Let's select pad 3, either here or here, and it's finding the intersection of that feature with the entire rest of the solid. And you see it has an intersection around its base and around this side. And let's select OK. Now if we double click that fillet again, we can add in additional options. We can add in edges to keep, and I can select, say, this edge and this edge and say OK. And see, now we've actually included edges to keep in that intersect fillet. Okay, I'm going to delete that intersect fillet. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to talk about the next option. And the next option under filleting is the propagation of intersect of selected features. So now instead of selecting one feature to intersect with the solid, you're going to be intersecting a group of features with another feature. Let's start out by selecting pad 4 as our first group by itself, and then for the feature that it's going to intersect with is going to be this one, and we'll say OK. And now we have the intersection of those 2 features. Now again, we can double click this and we can add in some edges to keep. We'll add in this edge, and say OK. There we go. Now let's double click this fillet again. And now in the object to fillet, we had a group which was really just this feature here with this feature here. But I'd like to add in another feature into this first group. So I'm already pre-selected on the objects to fillet, and I'm going to select pad 1 as another thing, and now I have 2 elements in that first group. And now if I say OK, now notice that both this pad and this pad are both intersected with this pad and filleted. And again, if you double click it, you may want to add in some edges to keep as this edge and this edge. Okay? All right. So those are some of the advanced filleting features with the propagation, where we did first with intersection, intersecting a feature with the entire solid, and the other with, which we just showed, was where you take a group of features and intersect it with another feature. Now, could we have added a group to the second set of features? Yes, you could have.